Hello, Rumbling Royals. It's January 28th, 2019. I'm Sexy Thor, and it's time for your Weekly Thunder Royal Rumble Edition. Ding ding. Mortal Kombat 11 had its announcement or sort of gameplay revealed 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to talk about it on last week's Weekly Thunder, so we're going to cover this real quick before we get to the actual weekly news. And of course, the rumors are true. The baddest woman on Earthrealm, Ronda Rousey, is going to voice Sonya Blade, and she even has her rolling armbar as an X-ray move, which is amazing because I was just telling my friend the day before, gosh, I really hope one of her X-ray moves is Ronda Rousey's armbar that I've seen her do so many times, and sure enough, she did it. And Ronda Rousey had a nice show of support from the WWE as Xavier Woods, one-third of The New Day and host of the YouTube channel Up Up Down Down. You should check it out. He cosplayed as Shao Kahn. Kofi Kingston, his New Day friend mate person thing, came as Shang Tsung, the old one from MK1, and Zelina Vega, the manager of Andrade Cien Almas, or Andrade as it goes now, but I like to say Andrade Cien Almas as a whole. She came as Jade. Super Bowl week begins as the AFC defeated the NFC in the Pro Bowl, if anybody cares. And the Rams and the Patriots head off to Atlanta. The Patriots will be staying at a hotel in downtown Atlanta and practicing at the Georgia Tech facility, and the Rams will be staying in Buckhead and practicing in Flowery Branch, the facility of the Atlanta Falcons, as our thanks for beating the Saints. NXT TakeOver was Saturday night in Phoenix. The War Raiders defeated Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era to become the new tag team champs, so that makes it a little bit harder for the Undisputed Era to walk away with all the championship gold like they said they would in 2019. Johnny Gargano defeated Ricochet and to be the new North American champion as the only result that disappointed me. Shayna Baszler defeated Bianca Belair and still became women's champion, or retained the women's champion, I should say. So I guess Bianca Belair isn't the EST, is no longer undefeated. I'm just saying. And Matt Riddle, the original bro, former King of Bros, or is he both King of Bros and the original bro? I don't know. He's still a top bro, I guess, but he got his revenge on Cash Sono for viciously attacking him and his friend Keith Lee over the past few weeks. Tommaso Ciampa defeated Aleister Black to retain the men's NXT championship, so I guess I was wrong when I was saying the North American championship result was the only disappointment. And then Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa had a reunion after the championship at the end of the show to show off their belts to the NXT universe at the end, and then when the camera stopped rolling, they had a scuffle with Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, and Aleister Black. There will be a six-man tag team event called Halftime Heat scheduled for this Sunday during halftime at the Super Bowl with Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, and Aleister Black. You can see it on YouTube, Facebook Live, WWE Network. So pretty much this Super Bowl Sunday is going to be fucking great. Also, there's a Clash of Champions event that Saturday where it's a tournament between guys from 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK, and the winner will get an opportunity for the championship of their choice. Now on to the Royal Rumble pre-show. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable retained the Raw Tag Team belts against Scott Dawson and Razor, each one half of the Revival and Authors of Pain. Buddy Murphy retained the Cruiserweight title in the Fatal 4-Way that I had previously talked about, so he's one step closer to proving he's the greatest Cruiserweight of all time. Now, if he fought Finn Balor and won, then maybe, it would be believable. Also, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Rusev, ending Rusev's very short title reign as United States Champion, and that means Nakamura's got the belt back because he held it since July and pretty much had it up until Christmas, and then Rusev had it for a few weeks, and now it's back with Nakamura. Now on to the Royal Rumble main event. Started off with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka beat Becky Lynch, so with no interference with Ronda Rousey. The Miz and Shane McMahon defeated The Bar. So The Miz and Shane McMahon are now SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This is Shane McMahon, the guy who I thought was still commissioner, but I guess with the McMahons being the general ruling body of both brands nowadays, I guess the commissioner can also be SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Hey, whatever. This is their house. We're just excited guests in it. Ronda Rousey defeated Sasha Banks to retain the Raw Women's Championship. And then Sasha held up the 4 Horsewomen fingers as she left, hopefully setting up this feud to an even bigger stage. Even though 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen would be kind of tough, in my opinion, because, I know Ronda and probably Shayna Baszler could match up well against them, but, maybe Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke can also match up well, because that's a handful to go up against with Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, because that is roughly 13 women's championships between those 4. It's kind of a big deal. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Also of interesting note, Ronda actually managed to pin Sasha Banks with an old move from Rowdy Roddy Piper. But the real interesting thing about that is this is the first time I've ever seen Ronda Rousey actually pin somebody. Usually she just goes ahead and rips their arm off with her arm bar, but first time for everything, and maybe she's done it before and I just didn't see it. I don't know. But anyway, on to the Women's Royal Rumble match. Newcomer Lacey Evans of Parris Island, South Carolina was first up, and I was rooting hard for her to be eliminated ASAP after she came on a Moment of Bliss last Monday and called Alexa a runt. I said runt. This is why I call on the forces of Atlanta, Athens, Chapel Hill, and Los Angeles to be victorious in all their different sports, especially over local sports, because local sports and sports figures don't exactly mesh well with me. Even when I try to give them a chance, they still find a way to just... Also, Zelina Vega, she came out wearing the mask and claws of Vega from the Street Fighter video game series, which was amazing. I love absolutely Alexa's inspired cosplay from superheroes and Disney villains and horror icons, but dressing up as Vega from Street Fighter is definitely a close second as far as my favorites. And then she hid under the mat for most of the match, and she got chased out by a random leprechaun. Yeah, I said it. I don't know how to further explain it either. Also, Naomi got to eliminate Mandy Rose after Mandy made the moves on her husband Jimmy Uso for weeks just to get under Naomi's skin, and then Mandy eliminated her after Mandy was already eliminated, which I didn't think was possible or legal, but okay. Also, the most important thing, Alexa Bliss is back to competition! Unfortunately, she didn't win, but it was awesome to see her eliminate a couple women and get back to her regular form. Hopefully that means when I go to Raw in Atlanta in a few weeks, she'll still be competing, or at the very least, still doing Moment of Bliss. Either which way, she's back, motherfuckers! This was indeed a Rumble of Bliss. Ho ho. Okay, enough of those Bliss puns, even though I could do a whole episode on those. Lana came back at number 29, I believe, with a walking boot on after being injured in her husband Rusev's loss to Shinsuke Nakamura. So being ever so gracious and merciful, Becky Lynch went in her place after already losing to Asuka in the SmackDown Women's Championship. And she won the match, and it was Becky's revenge from here on out as she faced down Nia Jax, who could not stop boasting and referencing about when she broke Becky's face at the Survivor Series Go Home Raw show when the SmackDown Women's roster invaded. Y'all remember that Weekly Thunder episode? I was so stoked about that. And the last person Becky eliminated was Charlotte Flair, who had come in at number 17, I believe, or 13, one of those. So that rivalry is definitely alive and well, and they keep finding new ways to really get at us with it. But you know what? Not really complaining. You can complain if you want to. I'm not going to. The new Daniel Bryan retained his WWE Championship against AJ Styles. AJ had him dead to rights, but after the ref was knocked down, so Eric Rowan from the Wyatt family, remember them, showed up for the first time in months, and dazed AJ long enough for Daniel Bryan to pin him once the ref recovered. Finn Balor got his shot at the Universal Championship and actually hurt Brock Lesnar up pretty bad, but Brock got the submission and Balor had to tap. Brock showed his sign of respect the only way he knows how, by giving Balor 3 suplexes, roughly speaking, and an F5. At least it wasn't 5 F5s like he gave Braun at Crown Jewel. Otherwise, this would probably be an in memoriam for Balor. The men's Royal Rumble match, it started off with Elias and Jeff Jarrett as the first 2 entrants, and they were about to do a musical duet, but then Elias just wanted a physical duet. Seth Rollins entered at number 10, and a few spots later he got to face down Dean Ambrose once again. Aleister Black eliminated Ambrose, becoming even more my favorite NXT superstar. Sort of my 1A, 1B with Ricochet. Corbin eliminated Black sometime later, still becoming one of my least favorites. Seth got his Intercontinental revenge on Bobby Lashley by eliminating him really quickly, so Lashley took him out, but not eliminating him, and gave Rollins a good while to rest, while others were eliminated. Mustafa Ali had been feuding with Samoa Joe the last few weeks, and Joe has been getting the best of him, but Ali got the last laugh when he eliminated Joe, who is a heavy favorite by a lot of people to win the Royal Rumble. R-Truth was set to enter in the final spot that he won in the Mixed Match Challenge, and then out of nowhere, Nia Jax beat him up and took his spot, and she entered the Men's Royal Rumble match, and the guys didn't know what to do at first, for obvious reasons. She eliminated Mustafa Ali, and then everyone else woke up, and she was eliminated by a crazy alliance of Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. It all came down in the end to Rollins with his old rivals, Dolph Ziggler and Braun Strowman, and Seth eliminated them both and won. Seth and Becky, as winners, get the championship match of their choice as the main events of WrestleMania, and that's just fine with me. That's your Weekly Thunder for January 28th. I'm Sexy Thor, and remember to drink, fight, and always throw 'em over the top rope.